This episode features an Audi A8 2006 for sale at an auction. First of all, let's start with the smart chart just so we make sure we don't forget to look for anything. When shopping for a car, you need to go through the exterior condition, the engine condition, interior condition, make a test drive if possible, and then check the mileage. Paint job. You're looking for inconsistency in the paint job. Panels that seems to be lighter or stronger in color than the rest of the car. Now this car really feels like it has been painted, simply because the overall finish is a bit blurry and twisty. It definitely isn't a factory paint. A beautiful sunshine usually really helps to uncover cheap paint jobs. Body condition. As always, this should be the most obvious part. When you're walking around the car, look for any dings, broken parts, scratches, and rust. Did you know that the Audi A8 is an all aluminium car? Now, an all aluminium car usually not supposed to rust, right? Well, not exactly. Don't be fooled by thinking aluminium doesn't rust. It does, in fact, rust, just not exactly in the same way as steel does. You see, steel is so weak against corrosion that simple contact with oxygen starts the rusting process. While with the aluminium, it's a bit more complicated. It's exactly like, say, a battery. You have a positive and a negative end on each side of the battery with some kind of a liquid in between both ends. But for the battery to work, this liquid must be known for driving electricity. Basically, the aluminium acts as the negative part, and the steel can act as the positive part, while the liquid in between is actually none other than oxygen in the ambient air. So there you have it, corrosion on aluminium.
Oh, that's fine. It's the door. Here, inside the door panel, there's a lot of rust.
Which can easily be caused by placing a steel screw on an aluminium part. So here's a very useful tip. You still need to go around looking for rusted parts even if it's all aluminium car. Wheels and tires. First of all, look and see if all four tires are the same make and model. Then take a simple penny and insert it in between the tire tread. It will give you a rough estimation on how deep they are. Finally, check the rims for scratches, pothole damage, and faded paint. Headlamps and all lights. Check if the headlamps are becoming blurred and yellow. This is common with non-UV treated transparent plastic. With time and sunshine, they slowly degrade. This means either the car was sitting too long facing the sun, or the car has spent most of its life on the road. This is why sometimes yellow blurred headlamp can give you a rough estimation on the actual mileage. Sunroof. At this stage of your investigation, you simply want to verify that all the windows are closed tight and properly. Before you start the engine, check the oil level. Start the engine up and listen. Ideally, a cold start is the best way for checking an engine. If it's too rough, you know it's usually packing a good weight of mileage. Exhaust gas color. So meanwhile, check the colored gas coming out of the exhaust. Is there any oil as well? There is three main colors that could indicate engine failure: dark blue, black, white gray. The usual color should not be noticeable in summer and very light gray in winter. Oil leaks. While the engine is running, check for any oil leak under the engine bay. Now, this car is also equipped with an adjustable airbag suspension, which are very expensive to fix, so it would be useful to make sure they work properly before you buy the car.
Yes, it's working. I feel it. Yep, still going on.
Rusted engine parts. Check for rusted engine parts usually when a car is not driven for a long amount of time, either because it has been into an accident waiting to be repaired or because it's simply not being driven enough. Some parts, as well as engine parts, tend to accumulate surface rust, especially pulleys and disc brakes. Steering wheel seats main condition. Look for any unusual wear and tear on the steering wheel, seats, switches. Any unusual condition could be caused by excessive use, which should indicate a relatively high mileage. All windows and sunroof. Check if all windows are working properly, open them up and close them down. The sunroof is making a fuzzy kind of sound when closing back. Now, in this case, the rear driver's side window isn't operating at all. Windshield wipers. Don't forget to check if windshield wipers show any malfunction. In this case, the driver's side wiper is clearly damaged. Finally, if you can, you must take it for a test drive. I would suggest to drive it in city roads until it heats up, then take it on the highway. Turn off the radio. I'm sure it will be on because usually they don't want you to listen to the car. So turn the radio off and just listen. Tell the salesman to be quiet, just so you can focus. Mileage. After going through that smart chart thoroughly, you really should begin to have an idea on the actual mileage of the car, so check it out at the very end of your investigation. If the shown number makes you uncomfortable, walk away or try and get the best deal as fairly as possible. While you're checking the mileage, check and see if any cluster lights are on. They would indicate needed maintenance. This was an Audi A8 2006 for sale at an auction. Thank you for watching and shop carefully.